came home from the bar with the old urinal on his shoulder.
Yeah?
He planted it there for a water trough for his cats, filled it, went on his way. When Pauline found out what that had been, there was trouble. She called him down here, put those little hands on her hips, informed him that she entertained celebrities on her patio. They didn't need to watch his cats drink from a filthy men's urinal. He would have to move it. He gave her a grin and pointed at her pool. He said, "The day you move yours, I'll move mine." She tried to hide this thing with that tile. Then the groundskeeper built this stone pedestal, set a Spanish olive jar from Cuba up here for a waterfall. Who would know? Our cats use it without question, all but one. We just lost an orange gentleman here named Archibald, who would never touch the water in that urinal. When Archie was thirsty, he'd stand over the top of it with his front paws on that little ledge, lick water away from that jar as it ran down, and that's all he would drink. 45 cats here, folks. One with enough class to keep his nose out of that urinal.
Yeah.
One more story, folks. We'll look her on the porch.
What was that? Lady Monkey.
Ahora de pedido de sonido.
How many square feet is this whole?
About 2,500 square feet for the house.
Oh.
The lawn is 0.93 acres, almost a full acre. The largest single dwelling lot in Key West. Asa Tiff came to this island in 1851, built this home to be a hurricane shelter. He worked a quarry where the house was to be built. His workmen quarried out these blocks of fossilized coral, making these building stones for his outside walls. They laid the walls up 18 inches thick. The home has stood for 160 years now. No storm of any magnitude has ever damaged this little fortress. Hemingway bought the old place in '31, lived here with wife number 2, Pauline, until their divorce in 1940. After the divorce, he loaded Martha Gellhorn on his boat. They went 90 miles south into Cuba. Martha and Ernest didn't last long in Cuba. That was a very short marriage. But Mary Welch came along, life got good. Mary enjoyed the outdoors as much as Ernest did. They would fish away their winters together in the pristine waters of Cuba. The summers they would return to his hunting lodge at Ketchum, Idaho. There they could hunt moose, bear, elk, deer, antelope, a sportsman's dream. The late 50s, that dream became his nightmare. Fidel Castro nationalized Cuba, impounding Hemingway's estate and his beloved boat. Left Ernest with only the Idaho address and the manic depression he had struggled with for a lifetime. His reaction to the loss in Cuba triggered the darkest depression his family had ever seen. It got so bad he volunteered to take electroshock therapy treatments to try to put some normality back in his world. Those treatments backfired. They blanked his memory. After the treatments, he would face a blank page for hours at a time, couldn't think of a word to write. July the 2nd, 1961, our tormented writer had endured all of it he could tolerate. He ended his own life with a self-inflicted shotgun blast. A tragic ending for a man who had been rightfully awarded both the Pulitzer and Nobel Prizes for his literary accomplishments. The manic depression had won the final bout. In '40, when he moved off to Cuba, this estate stayed with Pauline and the boys. Pauline died of natural causes about 10 years before Ernest's death. After their mother's death, the boys managed the estate for Ernest until he died. After his death, they sold it to a family friend here, Bernice Dixon. She intended to live in it. For a short time, bless her heart, she tried. There was virtually no privacy here. People would gather at her front door at all hours of the day and night, wanting to see this Hemingway home. She finally moved away to find a little privacy, wisely leaving her estate to be managed by the tour company that's running it for her today. I'm delighted she did. I get to share it with nice folks like you from literally the world over. I have a lot of fun here. Folks, our bookstore across the pool patio by that tall white chimney is an interesting little stop. They have a host of information on the Hemingways in there. I'll hang out here and answer questions for a while. Thank you for joining me here today. May the good Lord bless and keep each of you. See you safely home again. Thank you, folks.
Thank you. Thank you.
All students get perfect scores.